Hello, friends. Good evening, all of you. I'm CA Meena Verma, and in today's session, we will be going to study about budgetary control. In previous session, we have studied about traditional way of budgetary control. However, in today's session, we will be studying about beyond budgeting. So before starting with this session, let us understand. We all know that we all have studied about traditional budgeting. Okay, now let us understand what is beyond budgeting. What are the limitation of beyond budgeting? Sorry, what are the limitation of traditional budgeting, because of which we have introduced this new concept of beyond budgeting. Okay, so see, you have studied about traditional budgeting where they have not considered strategic decision, taking the decision for the business organization strategically. They have not considered that. Okay, so this is something which we will consider here in beyond budgeting. Okay, so beyond budgeting is beyond whatever you have studied so far in budgeting, as the name suggests. Okay, you are studying here something beyond what you have studied so far. Okay, why? Because there are some inherent flaws which is associated with traditional budgeting. Okay, so in order to improve that, we will study about beyond budgeting. Okay, ji. So what are the limitation of traditional budgeting? Because we have already discussed this. I have already tell you that in half of the session, means in one session I will teach you about the traditional budgeting, and in the next session I will teach you about going beyond what we have studied, that is beyond budgeting. Now let us, before starting understanding of beyond budgeting, let us first understand what are the limitation of beyond budgeting. What are the limitation of traditional budgeting, and because of which we are studying a new concept beyond budgeting. Okay, it's a new concept and you have not studied this topic anywhere. Okay, so now let us understand. First limitation of traditional budgeting is that traditional budgeting is a time consuming and costly method. Okay, the way of doing this traditional budgeting is time consuming and it is costly. So this is the first limitation. It is time consuming and it is costly. Okay, now the second point is that while you were doing budgeting through traditional method, you were not considering strategies. Okay, you were not considering the company's strategy. Okay, so what is company strategy? While we have studied so many chapters of our strategic cost management, we have studied that while framing the strategy of the business organization, we just don't consider the financial factors, but we also consider the non-financial factors. Okay, so this is what we have studied in strategic cost management, that if you want to take decision for your business organization strategically, you should not just focus on the financial factors, but you should also try to focus your organization on the non-financial factors. As well as we have studied that while you are taking the decision for your business organization, don't just focus on short-term goals. Don't just focus your decision just on short-term goals, but also consider the long-term goals. Okay, so if you want to take your decision for your business organization strategically, don't just consider the financial factors and take decision for your business organization. Instead, consider both financial as well as non-financial factors, and then take decision for your business organization. Okay, this is what we have studied in strategic cost management. Also, your goal should not be just short-term goal. Since if you have seen that while we are taking the decision financially, generally we focus on short-term goals. Okay, we want to increase the sale of the business organization, profitability of the organization. We generally focus on short-term goals. But in strategic cost management, we have discussed that we should not just focus on the short term goals, but we should also focus on long term goals. And sometime it might happen, that sometime you have to sacrifice your short term goals in order to achieve your long term goals. Sometimes this happens. While when we were doing the budgeting, our focus was financial fact. We were just considering the financial factors. We were not considering the non-financial factors. है ना? While we were studying about the budgeting, traditional budgeting, while we were doing all these concept of traditional budgeting, I hope you have seen everywhere we were just considering the financial factors, the budgeted sale, the actual sale, the budgeted expenditures, actual expenditures. Then we consider the variances, we get the budgeted profit, actual profit or budgeted loss. You can see that we were just considering the financial factors and then we were taking the decision for the business organization. However, in beyond budgeting, we are saying that we want to take the decision for the business organization strategically. Strategically means not just consider the financial factors, but also consider the non-financial factors, because the non-financial factors will affect the long-term survival of the business organization. And we should consider, while you are taking the decision for the business organization, you should consider the short-term goals as well as long-term goals. So this is what we have discussed here, that budget, the traditional budget you have studied so far, they rarely focused on companies' strategy. Okay? And often they are contradictory. I hope you remember we have studied these point behavioral aspects of budgetary control. In this point you have studied that they are contradictory. Traditional budgets are contradictory. Like, for example, you can see here that on one side they are saying that focus on organizational goal, and on the other side they're saying that focus on financial goal, while organization goal is a long-term goal and financial goal is short-term goals. Okay? And the same way we have a point here, evaluate the performance of manager. On one side you are saying that you should evaluate the performance of the manager, and on the other side you are saying motivate the manager. If you want to evaluate, how can you motivate? Okay, so the points are contradict. Okay, on one side they are preparing the budget. Okay, and they are preparing the budget at the cost of critical success factor. We should consider the critical success factor. Okay? And this budgetary control, actual budgetary control at strategic level, require both long-term organization goal and short-term financial goal. We have to consider both these things, and then we should take the decision for the business organization. Otherwise, you're saying that consider this and then consider this. We should consider both. Okay, for taking the decision for the business organization. Okay, so traditional, if you will study about traditional budgeting, you will see there is some kind of conflict. Okay, some kind of contradiction there. Okay, so they're saying that they don't focus on the company's strategy, and you can see the contradictory statements, contradictions there. Okay, so that is why this is another limitation of traditional budgeting. Okay, next is value creation. See, this is what we have studied so far in strategic cost management. What we have studied in strategic cost management, we do value chain analysis. I hope you remember in chapter 1 value chain analysis. I hope you remember that in chapter 1 we do value chain analysis. What is this value chain analysis? Value chain analysis, in value chain analysis, you try to find out the value added activities as well as the non value added activities. You try to find out the value added as well as non value added activities for the organization. Okay, you want to see, I hope you remember in chapter 1 we have studied that we consider the value we consider the value chain analysis. We do the value chain analysis, and with the help of value chain analysis we understand the various activity of the business organization, and we try to find out the value added activities and we try to find out the non value added activities. Okay, and then we focus ourselves on all the value added activities, and these non value added activities are nothing but a kind of waste, and thus we try to find out the way to remove them from the business organization. I hope you remember we have studied about 7 deadly waste. Okay, so all the waste we try to find out the way to remove them. So in this way we reduce the cost, we reduce the cost. Okay, we reduce the cost and improve the value. This is what we do in strategic cost management, which is very important, है ना? So while if you are using this value chain analysis, you will find all the value added activities in the organization. You will find all the non value added activities. Non value added activities are nothing but waste. Okay, then you will try to find out the way to remove them from the organization. I hope you remember you have studied this in lean system. You will try to find out the way to remove all the waste from the organization, and if you will remove all the waste, that will help you to reduce the cost, since you have find the way to save the resources of the organization. So this will help you to reduce the cost and improve the value for the business or for the customer. And in this way, since you are only focusing on the value added activity, so this will help you to improve the value for the customer. So in this way you can see here that how this strategic cost management is important, and in budgetary you do not consider the strategies. Okay, and that is why you do not stimulate the value for the customer, you do not stimulate the value creation for the customer. Okay, in case of traditional budgeting, in case if you are following the traditional budgeting. Okay, budget often create obstacles for changes. See, we have studied, see, in your new syllabus you will study that, you will study about the importance of technology, and you will study that why we should try to adapt ourselves, okay, with technology. Okay, changes. See, the environment is dynamic. We all know the internal and external environment, especially the external environment is very dynamic. Okay, and so we should consider both internal and external environment while taking the decision for the business organization. Again, this will also come under strategic cost management, that while you are taking the decision for your business organization, you consider the internal as well as external environment. है ना, you consider the external and external environment, and you know that this external environment is very dynamic and it keep on change, है ना? Since it is dynamic, so it keep on change. ठीक है, and so accordingly you consider the external and internal environment and you frame the strategy for the organization for achieving the goal of the business organization. However, this doesn't happen in traditional costing. In traditional costing, you these changes because of external or internal environment. See, we should accept the changes. ठीक है, it is good to accept the change. ठीक है, it is good to accept the change and formulate your strategy accordingly. ठीक है, however, in case of traditional costing, you do not consider these external and internal environment which is very dynamic, and so you do not people here, they are not they don't accept the changes. Okay, they don't accept the changes, and if there is any kind of change that create obstacles, okay, for the organization. Okay, so traditional budget you have, it create obstacles, okay, for changes. And in case if you want to change, you want to formulate the strategy according to the changes of internal and external environment, you want to change something, then for that change, since it is very dynamic and you want to change something, then in that case these budget will not going to help you. This traditional budget will not going to help you. Okay. Next, budget increase the centralization of power within an organization. I hope you remember that in case of traditional budgeting, we have studied about the hierarchy of the organization. We know that here we have the top management, then we have the middle level, okay, and then we have the operation level. Okay, now they are saying that this kind of traditional budgeting, see, I'm discussing about traditional budgeting. In case of traditional budgeting, centralization of power increases. Okay, so the people, those who are sitting in the top management, they have more power, as compared to the other level of the business organization. Okay, and this increases the centralization of the power in business organization. Okay, budget constraint responsiveness and flexibility. Obviously, see, if you have already prepared the budget for the organization, you have already decided the sale expenditure for the business organization, obviously then the activity of your business organization will become rigid. Okay, while you know that the environment is dynamic, internal and external environment is dynamic, and so accordingly we should formulate the strategy for the organization which require changes time to time. While if you have prepared a set budget for a month or a quarter, then it is very difficult to change them. So that is why again traditional budgeting is a constraint. Okay, to the flexibility. See, flexibility is very important for the organization. I hope you understand this, why the flexibility is important. Okay, why the flexibility is important. Okay, now the next is budget concentrate on cost reduction, not on value creation. Now see, I don't want to use this word only cost reduction here. You can see that in budget you do the cost control and cost reduction both, है ना? Cost control and cost reduction. So budget, see, we have studied this in strategic cost management. In strategic cost management, what we do value chain analysis. With the help of value chain analysis, we try to find out all the value added activities and non value added activity, and we will try to find out the way to remove them, these wasted non value added activities from the organization, and we focus on value added activity. If we focus our all resources on value added activity, that will help us to increase the value for the customer. This will help us to increase the value for the customer. Okay, however, in tradition, this happened in strategic cost management, but we do not follow strategy in traditional budgeting, and so in traditional budgeting, we do not focus on creating the value for the customer. We do not focus on creating the value for which the customer is willing to pay you more. Value is what? Something you are giving to customer, something for which the customer is happily willing to pay you. है ना? So in traditional budgeting, we were not focusing on improving the value for the customer, which is very important. Okay, which is very important. So you can see here in budgeting, we focus on cost control and reduction, okay, and we do not focus on creating the value for the customer. Okay. Budgets are developed and updated too infrequently, usually annually. Now, what they are saying that budget, they see, you can see that they prepare the budget for semi-annually or annually basis. Okay, so usually budget are developed and updated so infrequently. Okay, which is not good actually. If you study, I hope I have we have discussed the difference between uh, we have discussed the difference between standard costing and Kaizen costing. Tell me quickly, did you remember the difference between standard costing and Kaizen costing? You remember the difference between standard costing? I hope we have discussed this in chapter 3. Difference between standard costing and Kaizen costing. Similarly, you can say budgetary cost control and Kaizen costing. Traditional budgetary control, budget control cost control. You can see here that this budget control, they prepare it for annual basis, while if you see Kaizen is what, small incremental changes apply everywhere every day in the organization and everyone should involve. This is what we have studied in Kaizen costing, and you can see that they prepare this report so frequently, weekly or daily basis. They prepare this report. Okay, Kaizen costing, this is a method of cost management, reducing the cost and creating the value for the customer. Okay, while what they are saying that this traditional budgetary control system, the system, this budgetary control system, they prepare this too infrequently, while we need something so frequently, like we have Kaizen costing. Okay, every day, everywhere, everyone should involve in small little changes. We explore the places in the organization where we need to do some incremental changes. This is what we have studied in Kaizen costing, and it is required every day in the organization. While we are preparing this budget for annual basis, can you see the difference? What are the difference? See, traditional, you have set the budget for entire year and you forgot. What are you doing here? Huh? While in Kaizen costing, we are saying that, see, everyone in the organization should involve everywhere. Okay? And you should explore the opportunity everywhere in your organization for every kind of changes. They're saying even a small incremental changes. Okay? One day that will give a big impact in the organization. Even those small incremental changes is not visible today, but one day those small incremental changes will bring a big impact in the organization. So this is what we have studied in strategic cost management. While we prepare this annual budget, see, we prepare this budget annually, so infrequently. Okay? Budget are based on unsupported assumption and guesswork. While you were preparing the budget, those budget, they were supported by uh, unsupported assumptions and guesswork. Okay? Then budget reinforcement, departmental barrier rather than encourage knowledge sharing. Now, I hope you remember this, that we have discussed this, the difference between the traditional costing and strategic costing. Traditional costing and strategic costing. And if you remember this, this was given by W. Edward Deming. W. Edward Deming, he said, Mr. W. Edward Deming, he said that we should not create the departmental barrier in the organization. What is the departmental barrier in the organization? See, this is my director. Director is sitting in a separate cabin. Okay, director. Then my assistant director, he is sitting in separate cabin. cabin. Similarly, the president, the vice president, chair, every senior person, senior manager, they all have general manager. They all have their own separate cabin. Okay, this is generally happen in traditional way of doing business. And if you can see this is generally this happen in government organization. Okay, while what happen if you will see in multinational company, you can see they have a long table, and see the director is sitting in the same table, and assistant manager is sitting in the same table, assistant director is sitting in the same table, operational manager is sitting in the same table. So you can see here everyone they all are sitting in the same table. Instead of departments, they all are sitting in the same table, and they are working together. And in this way, it is very easy for them to share their idea with each other. See, knowledge sharing, experience. See, obviously the directors, assistant directors, general manager, obviously they are more experienced person. They have more experience. And if we sit with them, if the people in the organization, they sit together, it will help them to share their knowledge with each other, their experiences with each other. That will help the organization to grow. So you can see here why departmental system is not good. Why removal of all departmental barrier, these barrier is important. And this is the culture. If you can see this culture, you will find this culture in multinational companies. Okay, and this was the philosophy which was given by W. Edward Deming, if you remember it. Okay, we have studied about it. So this traditional budgeting, it reinforced the departmental barrier rather than encourage knowledge sharing. Okay, and this, if you will follow this traditional budgeting system, this will make the people feel undervalued. Okay, and again, if you will remember, W. Edward Deming, he focused more on teamwork. We should work together. We should work like a team. See, this, if we remove this trade barrier, obviously this will help us to create a team building, a teamwork kind of work, which is very important for any organization. See, there is some problem. I'm not receiving any of your query. Please write me something. I think there is some technical problem. I have not yet received any hello, good morning, anything, good evening. I have received nothing from you. So please write me something. Okay? I think there is some problem. Otherwise, in such time I receive so many comments or messages from you. So since I have not received anything, please write me good evening, anything, hello, hi, happy new year to all of you. Okay, I have not received anything from you. I think there is some technical problem. Let me talk to the technical team to resolve this issue. I have not received anything from you. Please write me happy new year, hello, good evening, whatever you want to write. Okay. Okay, so I hope you all understand the limitation of traditional budgeting. Is it clear to all of you? Please tell me. I think there is some problem. Let me resolve this issue. So this is the limitation of traditional budgeting. Okay, now you have a picture in front of you. Try to understand this picture. Yeah, I got message from you. Okay, Raman and Ravi Teja. So there is no problem. Okay, so here you can see we have this model. We have two model here. One model is related to traditional budgeting model, and another model is related to beyond budgeting model. Okay, you can see here. Okay, on one side, you can see, if you can see here, on one side we have this hierarchy system of the organization. Okay, we have a centralized system in the organization. Okay, centralized hierarchy system. Okay, so in case if we have a hierarchy system, or in case if we have a centralized hierarchy system, in such case you will use the wisdom of few people, like entire decision is taken by the director, If the entire decision is taken by the director, assistant director, board of director, then you are using the wisdom of few people for the entire organization. And this is how traditional budgeting works. You use the wisdom of few people. ठीक है? And in this case, generally you set the budget in top down approach. ठीक है? Top down budgeting system. I hope you remember impose style budgeting. ठीक है? The top level management, they prepare the budget and they impose the budget on the operational level. ठीक है? So top down target setting may comes here. ठीक है? And in this case, this fix the management process. Okay, you have to do this like this, then this, then this. You have fix the responsibility of everyone and fix the management process. You have planned something, then you execute, then you will see that the result. Okay, so in this way traditional budgeting works. Okay, this is the example of traditional budgeting. Okay, that this is the plan and I want to achieve this. This is generally how we do work in traditional budgeting. However, what happened in case of beyond budgeting? Obviously, we are not working in a departmental system. We are working as a team. You will see here that people work as a team in beyond budgeting. ठीक है? So even though if there is director, there are general manager, management, there are people in the organization, but they all sit together and they work as a team for the entire organization. ठीक है? They work as a team. And see, if you remember, there is difference between leadership and boss. ठीक है? Boss. There is a difference between leader and boss. And if you remember, top down approach is an impose style approach. है ना? Top down impose means what? Who impose? Generally a person having bossy nature, they impose their decision. It should be like this. ठीक है? And if a person is a boss, ठीक है, he do not consider the view of other people. ठीक है? While he is taking decision for the organization, he do not consider the view of the other people. Generally, this is the nature of a boss. While we encourage to have a leadership, what is the leadership? Who is the leader? See, there is a difference between boss and a leader. Again, this difference is explained by W. Edward Deming. He explained the difference between a boss and a leader, and he, in his 14 principle, Deming principle, he has given you the knowledge regarding leadership. ठीक है? A leader work for the organization. ठीक है? And he develop a teamwork in the organization. ठीक है? So you will study about the leadership principles, 6 leadership principle, and we are going from traditional to beyond budgeting. मतलब we are going beyond budgeting. We are not here, but we are going beyond this. ठीक है? So we are developing leadership, ठीक है, which will help us to develop a team leadership, team building in the organization. And now we don't have centralized hierarchy system. We have a decentralized network. We will have some questions related to this, that how in the organization, if you have a decentralized system, it will help you to grow. I hope you know the difference between see, since I have not teach you chapter 8. Yeah, chapter 8. I hope you know the difference between centralized and decentralized system, and why to have a centralized system is not so good and to have a decentralized system is good. See, to have a decentralized system is good for organization. If you have a decentralized system, do you know the difference? Why? Can you tell me why decentralization is good for organization? Decentralization. Do you know the difference between centralization and decentralization? Tell me quickly. Otherwise, I will discuss. You know the difference between centralization and decentralization? Quickly tell me. Okay, so there is some problem. Uh, a student is complaining that I'm unable to type in chat box. Okay, I'll discuss this. Okay, first tell me now here, do you know the difference between centralized organization, decentralized organization? Why it is good to have a decentralized organization? Do you know the difference? Quickly tell me. Otherwise, we will discuss. Okay, you know some of the. Chalo, I will discuss just one difference because I need that difference in that case. Okay. See, this in case if you have a centralized organization, in that case, all the decision of, for example, this is my head office and these are the branches. Okay. In case if I have a centralized system, all the decisions are taken place from one, or all the decision for the entire organization are taken from one place. Okay, instead what happened in case if we have a decentralized, see in this case what happened in case if you have a centralized system, for example you purchase everything at this place, then you transfer the goods to these places. Okay, so it will increase some kind of cost. For example, if I have a head office in Kanpur, okay, and my branch is in Pune. See, I am buying the raw material in Kanpur, then I transmit the raw material to Pune. That will increase the cost. That will increase the transportation cost. Instead, I will say that I will give the power to all the branches, okay, and they have power to buy the goods from the local mandis they have around their places. Okay, so in this case, you are decentralizing the power. Power is not in the hand of one person. Okay, power is not in the hand of one person. Is a decentralization system. Okay, so we need a decentralized network. Okay, and in case, see one more, this is one point. Another point is that, another point, in case if you have a centralized system, in this case you will have a centralized hierarchy kind of system also, like you have the top level, then you have the mid level, then you have the operating level, in this way, and the people at this place have the highest power and the people at the lowest place have the lowest power. Instead, we want a teamwork in our organization. Everyone should work together. Okay, they take decision for the business organization together. Okay, so this is how it works. Now we need a decentralized network for the organization, which is good for the organization. Why? Because in case if you have a decentralized system, you will use the wisdom of the crowd, you will use the wisdom of many people. See, what this is actually what a leader what a leader do, while you want to take any decision for the organization, you consider the viewpoint of everyone. Okay, every person who is in your organization. And for that I have a very good example. I don't know, I think, I don't know whether I should discuss or not. Okay, I have a very good example. Let me discuss that example. See, I didn't remember the name of the company exactly, that like it is like Colgate or which company, I didn't remember. See, if you remember this paste of Colgate, previously this outlet of this paste, toothpaste toothpaste, the outlet of this toothpaste was very small, and that is why in brush, in toothbrush, you put less amount of toothpaste. Instead, in this toothpaste company, a person at a very low operating level, he advises the company that instead of this low radius output, it is better to increase this radius. Okay, in that case, if the person who is using this paste, whenever this person will use this paste, whenever this person will use the paste, he will put more toothpaste in his brush. And this way, the sale of the company, the sale of the volume of the company has increased increase so much. This is just an example. If you consider the viewpoint of everyone in the organization, obviously, see, every people, every individual are different. Okay, and if you are using the intelligence of everyone, okay, that will definitely help you. Okay, you are using the wisdom of everyone. You are using the wisdom of the crowd. That will definitely help you. And this is what a leader do. Leader listen carefully to everyone. A leader listen everyone very carefully, and then after listening to everyone, a leader take decision for the organization. While a boss, he never take the viewpoint of other. Okay, so this is generally a difference between a leader and a boss. We have a question related to this. That is why I'm discussing this leader and a boss concept. Okay, so if you have a team, you take a decision together. You consider the wisdom of the crowd, and then you take the decision for the business organization. So this is how you work in an organization in which you are not applying traditional budgeting. Okay, so in this case, you consider the internal and external environment, and then you adapt the management process. Okay, so since you know the environment, internal and external environment is very dynamic and it keep on changing. The environment is keep on changing. So you have to consider that while taking the decision of the business organization, and therefore it should be flexible. It should not be rigid. Like we have a traditional budgeting, which is a very rigid. You prepare annual budget and you use that budget throughout the year, which is a rigid method. Instead, since the environment is dynamic, it keep on changing, it keep on affecting by various factors, so we should consider the changes, and then accordingly we should formulate the strategy for the organization. Okay, so this is how the system work. I hope you understand the difference we have in traditional budgeting and what we have in beyond budgeting. Okay, is it clear to all of you? Is it clear to all of you? Okay, you have given me difference between traditional. Sorry, you have given me the difference between centralized and decentralization, which is a good example. So you can see, we should. It is good to have a decentralized network. Okay, and it is good to have a decentralized organization. Okay, it is good to have it. Okay. So I hope you understand here that in order to transform from traditional budgeting, see, there is a query from Tarun Kumar. He's saying that from where to ask the question to you. Tarun, you can go to ICAI website, and from there, the link of ICAI Board of Studies. If you will click the classes from there, we have an option where you can ask me the queries. Okay, we don't have such option in YouTube channel. Okay, so in YouTube channel you can't ask me the queries. So if you want to ask me queries, go to ICAI portal. Okay, and there you will find a link for the classes. Okay, for these classes, and there you can watch these classes live. Okay, and you can ask me the queries. I will get you in that case. Okay, I hope it is all clear. Now let us understand. Now, see, in order to transform from the traditional budgeting to beyond budgeting, we need 12 principles, 6 leadership principles, and 6 management process principles. So we will study about these principles. See, we have these principles, leadership principles and management process principle, and it has been amended. So remember, if you have an old book, okay, don't study these topics from old module, because in new module these 12 principles have been amended. Okay, so these topics are new here with us. Okay? So don't read this topic from the old syllabus you have. Now let us understand these topic which we have here. Beyond budgeting is a tool to overcome the limitation of traditional budgeting process. Okay? To improve the management control over the organization. So I hope you understand this. Why we are studying this beyond budgeting? This beyond budgeting is a way to improve this traditional budgeting, obviously. है ना? ठीक है. Now in beyond budgeting you focus highly on decentralized organization. You can see here we have a decentralized organization at this place. ठीक है. And it is adaptive. Why they are using adaptive word? Because see, we are considering the internal and external environment which is very dynamic and which keep on changing. Okay? So accordingly we formulate the strategy for the business organization. Accordingly we change the plan of the business organization, which actually do not happen in traditional budgeting. Okay? Beyond budgeting means beyond the command and control toward a management. See, in case in traditional in case of traditional budgeting, all the power, the top management have all the powers, they have all the controls. But now we are talking about not a bossy kind of nature. Okay? We are not talking about a bossy kind of nature, we are talking about a leadership. Okay? So for leadership, we don't want a person who command and control, a person who want to control everything, a control freak kind of person. We don't want that kind of person in organization. Okay? Command and control nature is generally nature of a boss. So we don't want a boss in the organization, we want a leader for the organization who listen everyone very carefully, who listen the point of everyone, and accordingly he take the decision for the overall organization. Okay? So this is what happened in case of beyond budgeting. Okay, ji? Beyond budgeting is a leadership philosophy. So I hope you understand that we don't need a boss who always command and control. We want a leader. Okay? So we need leadership philosophy. Okay? Instead of traditional annual budgeting system. Okay? We don't need that. Okay? Okay, now beyond budgeting is about rethinking how we manage organization in a post-industrial world. So you can see now the world has completely changed. You can see even after the COVID-19 how we are using technology. People has not stopped doing business, people are still doing business, though you can see that how COVID-19 has affected the life of everyone in the entire world, but people are still doing business. And you can see that how technology is helping us so much in doing business, है ना? So for that, you can see here innovation is necessary, which is we consider this innovation, all kind of innovation kind of things in beyond budgeting. Okay? So in order to remain competitive, you need to understand everything. Especially you can see that how in past 1 year how technology plays such an important role in our life, in everywhere in business organization. So obviously we need to understand all these things. We need to understand how innovation is important for the organization in order to remain competitive, है ना? In order to sustain and in order to remain competitive. Okay? Now what are the two main advantage of beyond budgeting? It is more adaptive. I hope you understand why are we using the word adaptive. We are using this word adaptive because we consider both internal and external environment. We consider everything, all uncertainty, and then we take the decision. So you can see how environment is dynamic and it keep on changing. The external environment is very dynamic and it keep on changing, and we should consider the changes, and accordingly we should formulate the strategy, which generally don't happen in traditional budgeting. We prepare in traditional budgeting, we prepare annual budget, one time budget for the entire year, where we do not have option of flexibility. Okay? We do not consider the changes. Okay? However, beyond budgeting is more adaptive process. Okay? Beyond budgeting, you can see it's a decentralized process. Unlikely like in traditional budgeting, you can see where we have a centralized system and the top management have all power, they have all control, and they command everything, which is generally happen in traditional budgeting. Now, features of beyond budgeting. Beyond budgeting focus on managers shift to improving the future results. and not merely on compliances with budget. So if you will see, if you will understand this entire concept, traditional budget is the focus of the traditional budget is just to make a plan and try to achieve that plan. Okay, and if there is variance, understand the variance and try to improve that. This is what happened in budget, है ना? You prepare, you set the standards, then you do the process of the business organization, then actual reality arises, you compare, you find the reason why these variances is arising, and you find the way to improve. This is what happened in budget. While in case of beyond budgeting, you want to improve the future result, and for that you consider, you take the decision of the organization strategically. Okay, rolling budgets may incorporate key performance indicators. See, this rolling budget is not in our course. Okay. Next, benchmarking can be incorporated in budgets, and you can incorporate benchmarking here. Okay. Okay. Now, stability of beyond budgeting. So let us talk about the stability of beyond budgeting. In case if you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, is it all clear? Okay, let first understand the benefits of beyond budgeting and these concepts, then we will understand the stability of beyond budgeting. Okay. Okay, what are the benefits of beyond budgeting model? Beyond budgeting help the manager to work in coordination to beat the competition. So you can see we have a teamwork here. People work together in the organization for each other. है ना? So we have a teamwork here. In case of beyond budgeting, we have a teamwork. So they coordinate with each other and accordingly they work. And therefore, they are in a position to compete with their competitor. And since you have a teamwork, people work together. So internally, rivalry, the politics between the people, the conflicts, this will help you to reduce everything. The conflict between the people, a rivalry among the people, those who are working together in the organization, that will be reduced if you will use beyond budgeting principle. Okay. Since you have reduced yourself from the target, shift to the competitors. Now you are not focusing on achieving some target. See, if you remember, this is what Mr. W. Edward Deming has already said. Don't give the target for the employees. Don't set the target for the employees. This is what W. Edward Deming has already discussed. So here, what happened in case if you are applying beyond budgeting, if you are applying beyond budgeting, this will help you to reduce the target and you are shifting toward competitors. You want to increase the value for the customer. Okay, and accordingly you want to remain competitive. Okay, so your focus is on growth of the organization in order to become competitive. Okay, in order to create the value for the customer. Now your focus is this. Instead of achieving the target, means instead of increasing this, instead of achieving such kind of target, now your focus is that customer is king, I want to give my customer best services, I want to keep my king happy. Now your focus is this. So this is how you can see that now how you have shifted from a traditional budgeting to a beyond budgeting, which is a strategic concept. Okay, where you consider the strategies which we have studied so far. We consider all the strategies here. Yeah. Now, this will help you to motivate individual by defining the clear reward system based. Okay. So for the team, since we have a team here, so you will set the reward for the entire team here. Okay. Now, a proper delegation of authority to operational manager. In case if you have with this beyond budgeting, you will delegate the authority to the operational level who actually work. Okay, you will give them authority to take decision. Okay, those who are actually working. Okay, Okay, now they are not restricted to the budget that, oh, your cost should not increase from this. Okay, your this any kind of cost, purchase cost or process cost, this kind of cost should not increase this. See, if it is required, if you want resources, you can increase the cost. Otherwise, see, it is now everything you are delegating the authority. See, the power is now in the hand of the people, those who are actually working. Okay, and you're saying that, see, if you want resources, you can increase your budget, if and try to use the resources in best possible way. Okay, so you can see, while you are studying this beyond budgeting, think everything what you have studied in all the first 3 chapters of strategic cost management. Consider all those things while you are studying this concept. Okay, so you are giving authority to operational level manager, and now the operational level manager is not limited to the budget only. Okay, means he is not limited to have the cost as given in the budget, or to have a sale as mentioned in the budget. Okay, he is not restricted to that limit. Okay, okay. Now, and now, since his focus is not to achieve the favorable variances, now his focus is not to increase the sale or reduce the cost. Okay, generally we give incentive to the manager if manager will increase the sale, if manager will reduce the cost. So in this way, if the variance is favorable, we will give incentive to manager. This is what happened in traditional budgeting. But now we are focusing from here to increasing the value for the customer. Now we want my manager to work for the customer, think about the customer, increase the value for the customer. Okay, so now our focus is to increase the value for the customer. And you remember, if you will give value to the customer, this will help you to gain the competitive advantage over the competitor. So you can see how all these things work here. Okay, it create information system which provide fast and open info. Now, one more thing, see, if you remember, this is also a difference between traditional and strategic costing. This is also one of the difference between traditional and strategic costing. In case of traditional, in case of traditional costing, sorry, in case of traditional cost management, we say that we don't disclose all the information to all the people. Okay, we keep the confidential files. We have the confidential files and we have the access to that. We give the password. Okay, and the password and all. We have all these kind of things in organization. While in case of strategic cost management, we want everyone to share the knowledge, okay, the information. Okay, we want to share the information with everyone, those who are working decentralized organization. In the decentralized organization, we want to share all the knowledge and information with each other, so that everyone should think about the organization and should work toward the organization. Okay, so here information is easily available to everyone. Okay, fast and open information is there in beyond budgeting. I hope all these points are clear to all of you. I hope these points are clear to all of you. Is there any doubt? You can ask me. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. No doubt? Okay. Now you can see here that we have a leadership principle. As we have already discussed, that we don't want a boss in the organization, we want a leader in the organization. We don't want someone who is controlling and commanding. Okay, a person who is controlling everything and who is commanding. We don't want such kind of person. We want someone who create a team in the organization, and where we can share the information, knowledge with each other, and that knowledge will help the organization to increase the value for the customer. And if you will increase the value for the customer, that will help you to increase to give a competitive advantage to your organization. So you can see here how beautifully this concept works. Okay, now let us understand the principle we have, the leadership principle. We have 6 leadership principle, and again I'm mentioning here that these points are now changed. We have, previously, if you will see the old module, these concepts were different. These concepts are now new. Okay, they have been amended here. So don't learn the point which you have studied in your previous book, old module. Okay. Now, what are the principle? Purpose, values, transparency, organizations, autonomy, okay, and customer. Now let us understand these points one by one. So the first point is purpose. See, for this I want to say one thing: inspire the people, inspire the people with a mission. Inspire the people with a mission. Do you know any of the company? Can you give me example of any company which adopt this philosophy? Inspire, a company who inspire the people with mission. Can you give me some example? Can you give me here some example? Can you give me here some example? Inspire the people with a mission. See, if you will see a case study of Tom's, I'll give you example, though this is an American brand. I'm giving you some example, though these are American brand. Tom's. Happen. Wait. Do you know the case study of Tom's? See, uh, if you know the case study of Tom's, they adopt the philosophy of inspire the people with a mission. Okay, Tom's is a shoe company in America, and whenever this company sells shoes, they gift a pair of shoes to a needy person. So in this way, a person buy their shoes, and in this way, this company is giving people a feeling good kind of feeling. Okay, so in this way you can see in this way in India also many of the companies they adopt such philosophy, they adopt such advertisement that inspire the people with some kind of mission. Okay, so first is that engage and inspire the people around bold and noble causes. So, and not around short term financial target. So, now here, in case of any business organization, see, this is what I'm talking about the entire organization, and with the help of which the organization can increase their customer. Okay, with the help of that, the organization can increase their customer. Now, inside the organization, when you are applying this beyond budgeting concept, okay, you follow leadership principle. In case of leadership principle, you follow this purpose means you are doing something which has some purpose. Okay, so engage and inspire all the people in your organization to some noble causes, that we are doing this because of this. For example, if I have given you Tom's example of Tom's company, so inside the organization they inspire everyone that we are not just selling goods to the customer, but we are also donating a pair of goods to the needy person. So in this way you are working for some noble causes. Okay, so in this way the people they inspire all the people, those who are actually working in the organization. Similarly, I have one more example of Parker is again an example of American brand. Parker again adopt the same kind of strategy. Warby Parker is a specs selling company. Okay? And while if you buy any specs from this company, they sell a same pair of specs to a needy person. They donate same kind of specs to a needy person. So in this way, they are inspiring all the people, those who are actually working within the company with some mission, that yes, we are doing some noble cause for the world. Okay, so engage and inspire all the people with some bold and noble cause. This will help you to increase the teamwork in your organization. So don't just focus on the financial terms. So here you can see that they are not just considering the financial goals, but they are also considering the non-financial goals. And this is what we have studied in strategic cost management. Don't just focus, because see, if you are focusing on both financial, if you consider both financial and non-financial factors, means you are not just focusing on earning profit, increasing the revenue for the organization, but you are also focusing on some social welfare also for the society, for the people around you, around your organization. In that way, those strategy will help you to run your organization in long term. Okay, to increase your profitability in long term, and it will give you competitive advantage also. And we have practical example of a new startup. Warby Parker is a new startup and they become a market leader. Okay, so we have a successful organization with the help of which you can see that if you follow such strategy, after following such strategy, obviously you will succeed. Okay, so obviously if you are following some strategy, all those strategy are there in your book, and those strategy are evolved from some successful business organization. So you can see first method is purpose means engage all the people and inspire all the people, those who are working in the organization, to some noble causes. And so we are not just focusing on the financial perspective, financial target, that we want to increase the sale or profitability of the organization. No. Okay, we are also considering the non-financial factors, that yes, if you will sell your shoes, then at the same time we will donate the shoes. So in this way you are working for the entire world, for the welfare of entire world. So in this way you are not just focusing on the financial, but the non-financial factors also. Okay, so this is how leadership principle work. Now the next is organization. Cultivate a strong sense of belonging and organize around accountable team. Avoid hierarchy, control, and bureaucracy. So this is what they have said here. We don't want centrally hierarchy system in the organization. Decentralized, we need a teamwork in the organization. So organization should work like this. Okay, so we need a team, we don't need a hierarchy. We need a decentralized kind of system. We don't need a centralized hierarchy kind of system. So you can see here, this is again a leadership principle. Next is autonomy. Autonomy means trust the people with the freedom to act. See, don't give them target. I think you remember this is given by W. Edward Deming. W. Edward Deming said that don't give the target to the people, those who are working in the organization. Give them freedom to work. Okay? And what he has said, if you remember, 15% of the problem, only 15% problem arises because of the worker. Okay? Remaining 85% problem arises because of your own process. Your own process is not good. That is why the problem in your organization is arising. So if in case you have any variances, if in case if you have any error or any problem, don't blame the worker, the people, blame the process. You don't have a good process. Hannah, I hope you remember we have studied all these things. So the people, those who are actually working, give them freedom to work. Okay, don't give them target that we want to achieve the sale or we want to achieve this cost and all. Don't give them target. Don't punish everyone if someone should abuse it. Okay, so this is how it works. This is again a leadership principle. Okay, next, customer. Connect everyone's work with customer needs and avoid the conflict of interest. Now see here, this is what they have discussed here. What they have discussed, see, if you remember, they are focusing on creating value for customer. Their entire focus is on creating value for the customer. They are saying that don't focus on increasing the sale. See, this is traditional budgeting in which we set the standard and then actual sale and we want to increase the sale. Okay, if you have a favorable variance, then the manager will get incentive. This is actually what happened in traditional budgeting. Hai na? We set the target, then actual sale, and then if there is favorable variance, then we will give incentive to manager. This is how traditional budgeting works. But we say don't do like this. Instead of focusing on improving the sale, okay, financial goals, instead of focusing here, focus on improving the value for the customer. Hai na? And this is what we have studied in strategic cost management. Focus on improving the value for the customer. Okay? So connect everyone, those who are working in the organization, connect everyone around the customer. Okay, everyone, those who are working in the organization should always think about the customer. That whatever I'm doing here, I'm doing this in order to increase the value for the customer. I'm doing this for the customer. Okay, so this is how, and this will help them to avoid the conflict between them. See, if the manager, every manager want to increase his own incentive, every manager want to increase his sale, every manager wants to decrease his cost, and in this way every manager is working for himself only. Okay, that I want to improve my variances, I want to improve all the problems, and I want to do it favorable, and therefore if I will increase the sale, if I will get favorable variance, my incentive will increase. Hai na? So instead of creating such kind of goal for the manager, ask the manager to think about the customer. Ask everyone that you should think about the customer. You should create value for the customer, not focus on improving the sale, but focus on increasing the value for the customer. And this will give you competitive advantage. And ultimately, if you will get a competitive advantage, obviously your sale will increase. So see how beyond budgeting is completely different from traditional budgeting. Okay? And in this way, this will help you to avoid the conflict in the organization. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now the next, transparency. Next is transparency. Make information open for self-regulation, innovation, learning, and control. Don't restrict it. And see, this is what we have already discussed. In traditional budgeting, you have a hierarchy system, and you limit the information. You have some confidential files, and you don't allow other employees to access those files, and you create password. Not everyone can access those files. So this is how you are limiting the people from accessing the information in the organization. While in strategic cost management, we are saying that we need transparency, make the information available to everyone. Everyone should have the knowledge, should have the information, so accordingly they will help the organization to improve. And so if everyone have the knowledge, then only they will help you to improve now. Okay, so self regulation, innovation, learning and control, for all these things information is important. Don't restrict it. I hope you understand these topic. Now the next is values. ठीक है, see, values are very important. Govern through shared value and sound judgment, not through detailed rules and regulations. So don't create rules and regulation for the organization. Give them values. ठीक है. So I hope these topics are clear to all of you. I hope these topics are clear to all of you. है ना? So these are leadership principles. 6 leadership principles. Okay, these are 6 leadership principles. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I'm waiting for you to ask me queries. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I'm waiting for you to ask me the queries. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, now let us proceed to the next principle in order to switch from the traditional budgeting to beyond budgeting. I hope you remember this picture. We have discussed the 6 leadership principle. Now let us understand the 6 management process. You can see how with the help of these 6 principles, you can switch from traditional to beyond budgeting, and how beyond budgeting is completely different from traditional budgeting. You can see here. Okay. Now let us discuss the management process. 6 principle of management process. Let us understand this. We have these points. Management process. Okay. So let us understand them one by one. First is rhythm. Next is target. Then plan and forecast. Then resource allocation, performance evaluation, and rewards. So the first point, rhythm. Organize management process dynamically around business rhythm and events, not around the calendar year. So you can see that we prepare the budget for a year. है ना? We prepare the budget annually or semi-annually basis. So they are saying instead of organizing the process around calendar year, organize the process, the management process dynamically around the business rhythm and event. See, business rhythm and event, it may change with the environment. We consider internal environment and we consider external environment both, while taking the decision strategically. See, the environment is so dynamic. Last year, January, in the month of January, we don't even expect how COVID-19 kind of disease can interrupt the entire world, can interrupt the business of entire world. We had never think like this, that it can happen, and then we have never realized that lockdown, a complete lockdown in entire country can happen. Okay, you can see how for 2-3 months we all were in our house, how all the business activity were interrupted completely in our country. We have not think like that. And then after that, you can see how technology helped the people to do the business, because business is very important. Without business, you cannot, obviously money is important, the economical growth of the country is important. Okay? So you can see that how the technology is helping the people to grow their business, and you can see that how the new opportunity has come with the help of the technology for the people. Obviously, some people have suffered a lot, and for some people, those who recognize the opportunity, they boom. Okay? So, as per the rhythm and event, how the rhythm and event changes with the internal and external environment, and accordingly, the management should change their process. So, it should be dynamic. It should not be fixed or rigid. Oh, we have a plan for a year. Yeah, January, during the month of January, we don't know that COVID will come. We don't even know that the lockdown of entire country will happen. We don't even know that how we will use the technology in this way. So how can you prepare a budget for the entire year? It's not good to prepare the budget for the entire year. है ना? So we should organize the management process dynamically. Means if there is any changes, consider that changes and adapt the business accordingly, change the business accordingly. है ना? So this is how we should consider the rhythm. Management process should consider the rhythm. ठीक है? Now the next topic, targets. Set directional, ambitious and relative goal. Avoid fixed and cascaded targets. So for the organization, set directional and ambitious goals for the organization. ठीक है? And which may change. ठीक है? Obviously we consider the environment for these goals. ठीक है? ठीक है? And don't consider the fixed targets like we have to achieve this sale, ठीक है, in next 6 months or 1 year. We want to achieve this cost. We have a plan to achieve the sale or a cost. Don't create such kind of target. See, we don't want to have a target anywhere in strategic cost management. This is strictly avoided by W. Edward Deming. If you remember the 14 principle, he said don't set the target. Don't set the target. ठीक है? Okay. Now the plans and forecast. Make planning and forecasting a lean and unbiased process and not rigid and political exercises. See, in traditional business organization, in traditional budgeting, there were chances of politics, there were chances of introduction of budget slack. Okay? And they were rigid. They were rigid. Traditional budgeting was rigid, and there were politics a lot. Okay? And there were budget slack also. So we don't want rigidity, we don't want politics, and we don't want budget slack. And in order to avoid this politics, we have created a teamwork in the organization. Okay? So your planning and forecasting should be unbiased process. ठीक है? And your planning and forecasting should not be rigid. ठीक है? And it should not be affected by the, like we have introduced the budget slack. No such practices required here. No such practices expected here. ठीक है? Political exercise and all things, we don't expect all those things here. ठीक है? Next is resource allocation. Foster a cost conscious mindset and make resources available as needed. Okay, now see here, this is very important point they mention you at this place. See, generally what happened in case of traditional budgeting, I need some small space, so I'm taking the space. Generally what happened in traditional budgeting, in case of traditional budgeting, you set the budget. You set the budget for the entire year. है ना? ठीक है? You set the budget for the entire year. You set that for cost. For example, cost. You know that if you are consuming the resources of the organization, and that resources will result in cost. ठीक है? So you have decided that yes, use the material this much for the entire year. For entire year, you should not use the material more than this value. You should not use the labor more than this value. You should not use the resources more than this value. See, this is how we do in traditional budgeting. You have the budgeted material cost, you have the budgeted labor cost, we have the budgeted expenditure. So you have set some plan budgeted resources. We will use these resources, this much resources. Instead, the business is dynamic, it keep on changing and affected by various factors. So obviously your process will affect, your entire process of manufacturing the product will affect, and accordingly the need of resources may change. In future you might need high material or you might need less material because you are using technology. So with the time obviously the resources may change. For example, you can see during this year we have reduced the labor, we have reduced the efforts of the labor and we are using the technology much. So you can see how the resources can change with the dynamic nature of the environment in which your business is working. So you can see here, so that is why they are saying that don't fix the resources for the organization. Okay, annual resources, don't allocate the annual budget. Then since the need of the resources changes with time, so accordingly we have to consider that factors in the business organization. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. Then the performance evaluation, evaluate performance holistically and with peer feedback. See, now if you can see here, feedback is very important. Even if you study with us, we ask you, we request all of you to give us feedback. Why feedback is important? Organization is providing services to the customer, and if the customer is giving the feedback to the organization, so in case if there is any negative feedback, the organization will work on that feedback in order to improve the organization. And that is why the feedback is important. If there is some negative point in the organization will work on that and will try to improve. So that is why we need feedback from the customer. Okay, that will help the organization to learn and to improve. Okay, so it should not be, this budget should not based on the measurement only, like cost should be this, material cost should be this, labor should be this, not like that. Okay, we need feedback and accordingly we will improve the performance of the organization. Okay, now the next is rewards. Reward shares success against competition and not against the fixed performance contract. Okay, so how we will give the reward? See, generally what happen in traditional costing, how you give the reward, you set the standard, then actual sale arises or actual expenditures arises, then there is variances. In case if there is favorable variance, you give the rewards. Okay, in case if the sale is increased from the budgeted sale, you give the rewards. Okay, so this is generally happen in traditional costing. Okay, so reward is against the fixed performance contract. Okay, while what happened in strategic cost management, we are saying that create the value for the customer, and in case if you create the value for the customer, you will get, the organization will get competitive advantage, and accordingly if the organization will get competitive advantage, we will give reward to employees. So this is how the entire system work in beyond budgeting. I hope the concept of beyond budgeting is clear to all of you. The concept of beyond budgeting is clear to all of you. In case if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Acha, you are asking me example of value. See, value, if you will go to chapter 2 or chapter 1, we have discussed value very, very clearly. If you will go to chapter 1, videos of chapter 1, you can see we have the playlist, and if you will see the video of chapter 1, I have explained the concept of value very nicely. Value means you are giving the customer something for which the customer is willing to pay. Why the customer will give me money? I want to sell this pen to my customer. Okay, for example, wait, where is my box? Okay, for example, I want to sell my phone to my customer. Okay, I want to sell this phone to my customer. Why the customer will pay money for this phone? Okay, I want to sell this pen to my customer. Why the customer will pay money for this pen? Okay, because it has some value. Okay, higher the value, higher the money the customer will willing to pay me. Okay, if you will go to chapter 1, you will find the exact meaning of value. Okay, so value is something for which the customer is willing to pay, and we want to create value in our product. We want to create such value in our product so that the customer is willing to pay me. Okay, as much money as I want. Okay, I want to create, if I want to see whatever the product or services you want to sell to the customer, you should create value on that product. Then only the customer will buy this product. And see how beautiful concept is value. We have never studied such thing anywhere in costing. ठीक है, we have never studied such thing in costing CA inter. ठीक है, so you can see here beyond budgeting is entirely based on this concept. ठीक है, and if you want me, I don't have, you can see we have a chapter, we have a videos of chapter 1. You can see we have very clearly discussed the concept of value chain analysis and value. ठीक है, okay, few more topics. So you can see here that we have this traditional budgeting, and with the help of 6 principle of leadership and 6 principle of management process, we are switching from traditional budgeting to beyond budgeting. ठीक है, so I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, and we have here, so this is the model. ठीक है, this is the model of beyond budgeting, traditional budgeting. Yeah, so generally what happened, we set the vision, strategy and budget for the organization. We set the plan, then arise, then in case if there is any variance, we report that, and accordingly this is how it all work. Okay, however, in budgeting, the business organization, they consider the environment, internal and external environment. Accordingly, they adapt themselves and form the strategy for the organization. Okay, so you can see high degree of adaptability is here. Okay, and innovation is here in order to increase the value for the customer. Okay, so I hope the concept is clear to all of you. Traditional budget target. See, I don't want to discuss this. Yeah. Benefit of budgeting. Beyond budgeting, help the manager to work in coordination. Obviously, teamwork. Okay, you work as a team, and therefore it will give you, competitive advantage. Okay, and this will help to reduce the internal conflict and politics in the organization, and it help to build a teamwork. Okay, you set the clear responsibility in the organization and challenges in the organization. It eliminates some behavioral issues by making reward. See, they want to introduce budget slack. So if there is any kind of behavioral issues, you can eliminate them with the help of beyond budgeting. Okay, because obviously if there is reward system which is related to favorable variance, every manager want to achieve that. So obviously that will introduce slack in the organization, which we want to avoid. Okay, proper delegation of authority to operational level. You know that previously we do not have such system of delegation of proper responsibility to authority to the operational manager. And now you can see how we are sharing the information with each other. Okay, we have removed the departmental system, everyone working together as a team. So how they work together to achieve the organizational goal of increasing the value to the customer. Okay. So this is customer oriented. Okay, the team is customer oriented. All the employees in the organization are all customer oriented. Everyone wants to keep the customer happy. Okay, or operational manager do not restrict themselves to budget limits and focus on achieving the key ratio. I think we have discussed all these things. You have fast and open information system. Okay, we have discussed this. So this point, then we will do the questions. We have so many questions related to this beyond budgeting, and I want all of you to discuss all those questions. Okay, so there are 9 steps that are considered for the implementation of beyond budgeting. What are those steps? Define the case for change and provide outlined vision. Be prepared to convince the board, get started, design and implement new process, train and educate people, rethink the role of the finance, change behavior, new process and management order, evaluate the benefit, consolidate the gains. So these are the essentials, important steps for the implementation of beyond budgeting. Okay, so first is provide the vision for the organization. Then everyone should prepare themselves that you want to achieve this, then start, then design the process, new process for the organization. You can see that how the system is now completely different in beyond budgeting as compared to traditional budgeting. So everyone need knowledge, everyone need training, education. Okay, and there is rethinking of the role of the finance. Obviously now you don't have to set the sale target and you want to achieve that, you don't have such kind of thing now. So there is change in the role of the finance. Okay, change in the behavior, because now you have a new process. Okay, and the management, see, we don't have a bossy kind of thing here. Okay, command or control, we don't have all these things here. We have a teamwork at this place. Okay, then you evaluate the benefits. Okay, and then you consolidate the gains. So these are the steps, not very relevant. Okay, so these are the points which we have studied here in beyond budgeting, and I want to take some questions from this topic. So let me take the questions which we have here. So I want to start with beyond budgeting itself. Okay, this is a simple direct question. I want to take it later on. Let me take this question. I want all of you to read this question. I'm giving you time to read this question. So we have this question. Can I? No, this question will not come in one page. So we have this question, and I'm giving you time, 5 minutes to read this question. I'm giving you time, 5 minutes. I'm giving you 5 minutes to read this question and tell me if you have done the reading of this question. Okay? Please read this question. I'm giving you time to read this question. Okay, 5 minutes to read this question. Okay, read this question. In case if you have any doubt, you can ask me. In case if you people have any doubt, you can ask me. I'm giving you 5 minutes, and I want all of you to read this question. Please read this question. Please tell me if you have done the reading of this question. Please tell me. In case if you have done the reading of this question, ठीक है मैं आई एम डूइंग दैट. Why it is not visible? Okay, let me do this. This is a very good question to understand the concept. Okay, it's a very good question to understand the concept, and that is why I have taken this question. I hope the question is visible to all of you now. In case if it is not visible, please tell me, okay? I hope the question is visible to all of you. In case if the question is not visible, please tell me. Okay, ji? This is the question we have. And I want all of you to read this question. Okay? Read this question. And please tell me if you have done the reading of this question. Please tell me in case if you have done the reading. Please tell me. If you have done the reading, please tell me. Please tell me done. Okay? If you have done reading, please tell me. In case if you have done the reading, please tell me that you have done the reading of this question. Please tell me if you have done the reading of this question. Please tell me. If you have done the reading of this question, please tell me quickly. In case if you have done the reading of this question, please tell me. Quickly, I'm waiting for you to tell me that you have done the reading of this question. Okay, you have done the reading. Very nice. Let us discuss this question now. This question is a very good question because this question includes both traditional costing system. They have discussed something about traditional costing and they have discussed about the beyond budgeting also. Okay, so let us discuss this question. Let us discuss this question. It is frustrating working with. Wait, let me change the color of the pen. Yeah, tell me the color is visible. Wait. Yes. Okay, so it is frustrating working with Daniel. He's very dominating. Wait, color pen. I don't know why it is. Sometimes it is working and sometimes it's not working. There is some problem. Okay, it's frustrating working with Daniel. He's very dominating. Expect everything to be done his way. So you can see this first line clearly indicate that this person is a very dominating nature and he's a kind of bossy kind of nature who want to control and command. Okay, I hope we have understood that we don't need someone who control and command. Okay, so we have a person. Okay, and this person is very dominating and he expect everything to be done in his own way. Okay, so that he is a bossy nature. It's a bossy nature. He want to control and command. He want to control and command. Okay, okay. We have done more and better work to get up to budget, and the minute we make it, he tightens the budget on us. So you can see what he has given us. There is a person, Mr. Singh. He is talking about himself. This person have done more and better work to get up to the budget. So he is working very nicely and he has done everything in order to reach the budget. Okay? But as soon as this person reached to budget, this person tightens the budget. Okay? So we can't work any faster and still maintain quality. So we can't work any faster. Faster means you want to reduce the cost, the target. Okay, you want to achieve that, and along with those target, you want to achieve the quality for the organization also. You want to achieve both the things. Okay, we always seems to be interrupted. We always seems to be interrupting the big jobs for all the small rush orders. See, this is a very important line, so I want to underline this. What happened? They are interrupting the big jobs in their organization for this rush orders. Rush order means immediate order. In order to complete the immediate rush orders, they interrupt the big jobs of the organization, which is actually not good for any organization. Okay? The account not good. The accountants seems to know everything that happening in my department, sometimes even before I do. So accountant knows everything, that though we are doing in such a good way that we are achieving to budget, we are near to achieve the budget, but as soon as we reach to the place where we can achieve the budget, this person, he tightens the budget, he changes the budget. Okay? So this way it is very difficult to cope with this condition, and along with that we want to maintain the quality for the organization. Okay, he's saying this, all this thing. Also he's saying that because of meeting the rush order, he is interrupting the big job of the organization. So this is what happening here. I thought, who is saying this? I thought Mr. Singh. I thought all that budget and accounting staff was supposed to help, but it just get me into trouble. So he was trying to help everyone, but if he will do that, that will create trouble for him. Okay, I'm trying to put out quality work, they are trying to save money. So see, there is a contradiction between them. This Daniel person, this Denny, this person wants to achieve what targets, and he want to save money. His focus is to save money. Denny, this person focuses to save money, while Mr. Singh, he want to improve the quality of the product. He's focusing on quality, and if we focus on quality, we will be managed to improve the value for the customer. And I hope you all have understood that in beyond budgeting we focus on increasing the value for the customer. We don't focus on increasing the sale or reducing the cost. We are not focusing here. Okay, while we are just focusing, we want everyone in our organization to think about the customer, that we want to create value for the customer. Means in the organization everyone should think about the quality, है ना? So he is saying that Mr. Denny, he want to save the money while I am focusing on creating the quality. Okay, so that is why you can see there is a conflict between these two person, and Mr. Singh is frustrated and he want to leave the job. You can see here it is mentioned. Okay, so I'm trying out quality and he is trying to save money. This is dead end job. So Mr. Singh is saying that it's a dead end job. Okay, I don't see much of a future here. So he is completely disturbed with this nature of this Mr. Denny. He is not happy with the nature of Mr. Denny, and he is completely frustrated with the nature of Mr. Denny, and he is saying that I don't see the future here. Okay, and he's saying that I don't see much future here. Okay, Mr. Singh, manager of the machine shop of Global Manufacturing Limited, a UK based company. So these all things are said by Mr. Singh. Okay, he is the manager of the machine shop. Okay, now Mr. Singh had just attended monthly performance evaluation. Now this person, Mr. Singh, he has attended the monthly evaluation performance of the company. Okay, he has attended the monthly performance evaluation of the company. Okay, meeting for plant department head. So he has just attended this meeting. Okay, these meetings had been held on 3rd February of each month. Okay, since Mr. Daniel, MBA from Massachusetts University, had joined Indian operation a year earlier. Now, Mr. Singh had just been given the worst evaluation he had ever received in his long career. Okay, he is working with this company for a long time. You can see here he has a long career with this company. And during his entire long career, this is the first time he received the worst evaluation, because you can see there is a performance evaluation meeting. Okay, 3rd February of every month or each month. Okay, 3rd February of each month, there is a performance evaluation. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, now Mr. Singh had just been given the worst evaluation. Okay, So he received the worst evaluation during his long career. Okay, he was most respected experienced machinist in this company. So in this company he was very respected. Okay, and he was very experienced person. Okay, old plant manager had often stated that company success was due to high quality work of machinist like Mr. Singh. So the old plant manager, he has this view that the company is successful, the company is success just because of the high quality product the company is producing, and which is just because of the people, the machinist like Mr. Singh. So you can see here there is a conflict. See, Mr. Dennell wanted to save money, and that is why he is he is following some, he has prepared the performance evaluation, and he is saying that Mr. Singh is not doing great, while Mr. Singh is focusing on improving the quality for the organization in order to give high value to the customer. Okay, so this is how you can see the condition is here. Okay. Okay, however, the old manager of the company, he's saying that the company's success is behind the person like Mr. Singh who is focusing on improving the quality for the organization. Okay. He had been with Global Manufacturing Limited for many years and was promoted to supervisor of the machine shop when the company expanded and moved to its present location. So they are talking about Mr. Singh. Okay? As a supervisor, Mr. Singh stressed the importance of the craftsmen and told his worker that he wanted no careless work coming from his department. So they are working very carefully. Mr. Singh, he supervised the people in his department very carefully. Okay? Okay, and he don't expect any kind of careless work. If there is no careless work, obviously there is, he is focusing on maintaining the quality. If there is no carelessness, okay, he is focusing on maintaining the quality. Okay. Okay, Mr. Denny became the plant manager now. He directed the monthly performance comparison we made between the actual and budgeted cost. Now see how Denny is following the traditional budgeting system, and he's saying that he want to make the comparison between the budgeted cost and the actual cost. He want to make the comparison. Okay, budgeted. He want to make the comparison between the budgeted cost and the actual cost. Okay, Mr. Dennell became the plant manager. He directed that monthly performance comparison be made between the actual and budgeted cost for each department. The departmental budget were intended to encourage the supervisor to reduce the inefficiencies and to seek cost reduction opportunity. So the supervisor want to reduce the inefficiency, and the supervisor is seeking the opportunity to reduce the cost. Okay, cost reduction. He want to seek the opportunity to reduce the cost. Okay, the company controller has instructed to have his staff tightens the budget slightly whenever a department attain its budget in a given month. See what he is mentioned. If someone is achieving the budget, tighten the budget. Okay. This is what they are following. This Mr. Denny is following. Okay. This was done to reinforce the plant supervisor desire to reduce the cost. And why he is doing so? In order to reduce the cost. Mr. Denny often stressed the importance of continuous progress toward attaining the budget. So he is focusing on attaining the budget. Whatever the budget cost, try to achieve that. Whatever the budget sale, try to achieve that. And if someone is achieving that budget, he then tightens the budget. Means he increase the target for them. Okay, so this is how this Mr. Denny is working here in this organization. Okay, now what is the requirement of the question? Identify the problem which appear to exist in budgetary control system and explain how budgetary control system could be revised to improve the effectiveness. Can you give me the answer? Can you give me the problem which we have here in this system and the solution which you want to suggest me at this place? Can you tell me the problem we have here and the solution you want to give me? Quickly tell me. Question is still blur. Is the question is clear now? See, if I read the entire question, let me compile the entire question in few lines. There is a person, Mr. Denny, a very bossy, controlling and commanding kind of person. ठीक है? This person is focusing on saving money, while there is another person, Mr. Singh. Mr. Singh is one of the managers. Who is working with, he is a person who is working with the machine, Mr. Singh. And Mr. Singh, the person who is working with machine, he is focusing on improving the quality for the organization. So the Denny, the plant manager, the Denny, he is focusing on saving the money, while the person who is actually working, he is focusing on improving the quality. If you will improve the quality, you will increase the value for the customer, and obviously this will give the competitive advantage. However, the boss, Mr. Denny, he has set the target. In case if this operation person who is actually operating achieve the target, this person improve the target, means he increase the target. Tightens the target, tightens the budget. So in this way, it is very difficult for the person who are actually working to achieve the target and increasing the quality. See, this person who is actually working, he want to maintain the quality, and along with maintaining the quality, it is very difficult to keep with the change in the budget, which this budget is tightened frequently by Mr. Denny. It is very difficult to do both the things, like to maintain the quality and to meet the target. So this is how the things is happening here in this organization. Can you tell me the problem we have here and the solution you want to give me at this place? Can you tell me the problem we have here and the solution you want to give me here at this place? The problem we have here and the solution which you want to give me at this place. Can you tell me the problem we have here? Okay, I got one answer from Raman. The problem is that this Mr. Denny is following traditional budgeting. है ना? The problem is traditional budgeting. Okay. What kind of budgeting he is following? Top-down budgeting or bottom-up approach? Which approach? Which approach he is following? Top-down approach or bottom-up approach? We have two approach in traditional budgeting. Top-down or bottom-up approach? Which approach he is following? What do you think? Which approach he is following? Tell me quickly. Yes, they are following traditional budgeting, but which approach? Which approach this organization is following? Top-down approach or bottom-up approach? Do you remember the difference between top-down approach and bottom-up approach? Do you remember the difference between top-down approach and bottom-up approach? Quickly tell me. Quickly tell me the answer. Okay, so you are saying that, ma'am, top-down approach, imposed top-down approach. Obviously, he's in this organization, Mr. Denny is following imposed top-down approach, and obviously he is following traditional budgeting. Instead, in case if we follow the beyond budgeting, it is good to improve the quality for the customer. It is good to improve the value for the customer. This will give the competitive advantage to the organization. So I hope you can write the answer in examination. If the concept is clear, I think it is very easy to write the answer. Okay. So let us see how they have written you the answer. Let me quickly read the answer. So I hope it is clear to all of you that in this case, they are following top-down approach. Means imposed style. Traditional budgeting, they are following this. Mr. Denny is following traditional imposed style budgeting, which is not good for the organization. Instead, we should focus on what? Instead, we should focus on beyond budgeting. which is good. Now let us see how they have written you the answer. Few lines, they have written the answer in few lines. So they are saying that in traditional budgeting there are many shortcomings. Okay, so you can see we have many shortcomings which reduces the effectiveness and may in fact cause it to interfere the good performance of the organization. See, it is good to have quality, it is good to create the value for the customer. However, traditional budgeting, it interfere the good performance of the organization. Okay, so there are some shortcomings. This shortcomings, what are the shortcomings? Lack of coordination, lack of coordinated goal, influence of uncontrolled factors, and short-term perspective. Obviously, we have studied that we need a long-term, we need to consider long-term factors. Okay? Our organization should consider both financial and non-financial perspective, and accordingly should frame the strategy for the organization. We consider everything, internal and external environment, then accordingly we frame the strategy for the organization in order to create value for the customer, in order to get competitive advantage. See, you can write everything, all those things which we have studied, and you can see it is written here also. Let us see some of the shortcomings. Mr. Singh had been led to believe high quality outcome is the goal. So Mr. Singh believed the quality is the goal. However, Mr. Denny is seeking on improving the profitability, saving the cost, saving the money. He's focusing on that. So the goal is different. Okay? Mr. Singh believed that the goal should be to improve the quality, improve the value for the customer. Okay? While Mr. Denny, he presumed that it is good to reduce the cost, lower the cost, should be the goal of the organization. He does not know what the goal, so the goal is not clear in this case. You can see in this organization, the goal is not clear. Influence of uncontrollable factors. The actual performance relative to budget is greatly influenced by the uncontrolled factors. Okay? For example, here we have rush orders, okay, and which is an uncontrolled factors. Okay? So which might affect the performance of the organization. You can see it is written here that because of the rush order, the organization is this rush order is interrupting the organization's full-fledged order. You can see it is written here. It is interrupting the big jobs. Okay? Rush order is interrupting the big jobs. Okay? The monthly evaluation and the budget tightening on a monthly basis result in a very short run perspective. Obviously, see, it is mentioned here that he is evaluating the budget on monthly basis and he is tightening the budget. As soon as if the sum manager is achieving the budget, he is tightening the budget. So this is a short-term perspective. You're following the short-term perspective and you want to achieve the financial goals only. You're not considering the non-financial factors, that if you provide a good quality product, how this will affect the long-term survival and profitability of the organization. You do not consider this. Okay? So the budgetary control system must be clearly define the objective of the organization. Okay? Okay? And then it should consider the control factors and all. Okay? You can see. Okay? So you can see, and you can see how they have written the answer. Let me read this also. Improvement of budgetary control. So you can see here they have given you the limitation of traditional budgeting, the shortcoming of traditional budgeting, and in this point they have given you how to improve this traditional budgeting. They have given you the points. Okay? So budgetary control system must more clearly define. Okay? You can say, since the goal is not clearly defined, the organization should clearly define the objective and goal of the organization. है ना? The budgetary system, this budgetary control system must develop an accounting reporting system which better matches the controllable factors with supervisor responsibility and authority. ठीक है? So the report should be in such a way which matches the supervisor responsibility and authority. ठीक है? So they are preparing the accounts, the budget, but it should be in such a way which should be realistic, I will say. ठीक है? And it should be easy to it should be real to achieve. ठीक है? It should not be unrealistic. ठीक है? If you are setting the target, even in case if you are setting the targets. ठीक है? So this is how you can see they have written you the answer. Okay, now let us consider one more question beyond budgeting. I have one more question of beyond budgeting. Read this question. I think this is a simple question. Let me do this. A very simple question. You can write this answers at your own. Okay. Beyond budgeting. I hope the question is clear to all of you. The board of director meetings of Toyota Motor Limited, a car manufacturing company, is to be scheduled to be held in another 10 days. Okay. One of the items as per agenda to be discussed in the meeting is the present budgeting system of the company. Your organization is at present using budgets for control which are prepared mostly on traditional basis. The CEO of your company wants to propose the board to use beyond budgeting instead of traditional budgeting in the company on experimental basis. So they want to implement beyond budgeting on experimental basis. Therefore, you, the management accountant, has been asked by your CEO to explore the possibility of introducing the beyond budgeting system in the company. So they have asked you to explore whether it is good to implement this beyond budgeting or not. Okay, so they have asked you some question, but you can see we can write this answer directly. Okay, specify you are required to prepare a notes to your CEO to be used for his presentation at the meeting on the major limitation of traditional budgets. What are the major limitation of budgets? Traditional budget. I hope there are many limitation of traditional budget and you can write all those limitation. Okay. Advantage of beyond budgeting. Obviously, there are many. I hope you remember we have discussed this. Okay. Why we have introduced this beyond budgeting? Obviously, because there are limitation of traditional budgeting, and that is why we have introduced this beyond budgeting. So explain all the limitation of traditional budgeting and the advantage of beyond budgeting, nature of beyond budgeting. You have to explain it and the benefit that can be achieved if you implement beyond budgeting and suitability of beyond budgeting. You have to explain all these points. Okay, if there is a query, let me take that query. Okay, it's not a query. Very nice. You people are giving me answers. Very nice. Okay. So do you want me to discuss this question? This is a straight question and I have more question to discuss. Those questions are quite technical. So you can't do those questions at your own. So I want to discuss those questions first. Okay, instead of wasting time on such a simple question, I don't want to waste my time on such a simple question. We have more question to discuss in today's session. So let us do those technical questions we have. Okay. Yeah, this is the question which I have and I want to take this question. Let me take it in 2 page first so that you can read this question. Now first tell me, is it readable? No, this has not come in. Wait. So I have this question. I think this question is in our book. Please find this question in our book. Tell me the page number and please read this question. Read this question. Tell me the page number of the question and please read this question. We have this question. Okay, read this question. I hope the question is visible to all of you. It is readable to all of you. Read this question and tell me, in case if it is blur, if it is not visible, please tell me. We have this question in our book. See, I want to take some technical question. I don't want to take easy question. So it's a good question which I want to take in today's session. It's a good question I want to take in today's session. So I want all of you to read this question quickly. In case if the question is not visible, tell me quickly. I'm giving you 5 minutes to read this question. Read this question. I'm giving you enough time to read this question. It's a good question. Tell me quickly if you have done the reading of this question. Read this question, and in case if you have done reading of this question, please tell me. Okay, it's a long question, I know that. Okay. Do this question. Read this question. In case if you have done the reading, please tell me. Read the question and quickly tell me if you have done the reading. I know it's a big question. Tell me quickly when you have done the reading of this question. Shall we discuss? Shall we discuss this question has changed? Shall we discuss this question? We have this question. Quickly tell me you have done the reading of this question. Shall we discuss? Okay, this question is in page number 11.28 and in old study material it is in 11.31 page. So we have this question. It's in your book 11.28 in your book or 11.31 in your old syllabus, old study module, sorry. Shall we discuss? You have done the reading, please tell me quickly. Yes or no, please tell me you have done the reading. The page is visible or not here? Is it visible? I hope it's visible. Quickly tell me, done? We don't have enough time. If you have done the reading, please tell me quickly you have done the reading so that we can discuss. Okay, let me discuss. Okay? Let me discuss this question. Okay. Great Bus Tour Company Limited is an open top double-decker bus. See, double-decker bus, open top double-decker bus. Okay? Is so Great Bus Tour Company Limited is an open top double-decker bus sightseeing company. Okay? Particularly identified with its special red and cream colored buses. So these buses are of red and cream colored buses. It commenced operating in small town of Meghalaya in January 2015 with 4 buses. So when they have started their business in 2015, they have started their business through 4 buses. Okay? And as of 2019 operates 44 buses. So from 4 to 44 buses. Now they have 44 buses in Northeast region of India. Great Bus Tour Company Limited operates 5 routes. Okay, they are operating in 5 routes. They're operating in 5 routes with stop at tourist destination. So they stop at tourist destination. The company runs hope of bus tours of various hills with 124-hour tickets valid. Okay, so the ticket is valid for 24 hours. Okay, one ticket is valid for 24 hours. Okay, and the journey is unlimited. Okay, now budget process. As a part of management performance control and incentive scheme, it has been following participative budgeting approach. So they are following participative budgetary approach. I hope you remember there are top-down approach and bottom-up approach. Okay, two approach. Top-down approach. This is imposed style budget, traditional budget. This budget is prepared by top manager. Okay, top-down approach, traditional top-down imposed style approach. Here the budget is prepared by top manager. While bottom-up approach is participative approach where the budget is prepared by the people, those who are actually working. Okay? So the operational level people, those who are actually working, budget are prepared by them. So I hope you remember this is the participative budget. Okay? Now, as a part of management performance control and incentive scheme, it has been following participative budgeting approach. Okay? In Great Bus Tour Company Limited, budgeting is joint process in which functional division develop their plans in conformity with the corporate goal for the next financial year. Okay, so this company budgeting is a joint process. They are saying that preparing the budget is a joint process in which functional division develop the plan. See, the functional, those who are actually working, they prepare they develop this plan budget. Okay, and then he take the confirmation from the corporate goals. Okay, who prepared the corporate goals? Strategic level planning is done at top level. All the strategic planning, corporate planning is done by the top level management. Okay, so the functional level, they prepare the budget and then they take the permission of the top level manager. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, in this company, budgeting is a joint process in which functional division, they prepare the budget. Okay, they develop the budget and then they take this corporate goal, this top level manager confirmation. Okay, based on these plan, division prepare functional budget and send the appropriate management to review. So that is why the budget is prepared at this level. Obviously it is a participative budget, so operational level manager will prepare the budget and they will send it to the top management for their approval. So this is what mentioned here. Okay, the budgets after the incorporation of the feedback and suggestion received from the SAD management. So the top management, after after taking their feedback, their suggestions, since you have sent the budget to the top level management, now the top level management will give their feedbacks, they will give their suggestions. Then after considering their suggestions and feedback, you will take the budget again and you will finalize the budget. This functional level will take the budget again and they will finalize it. Then finalize the budget. Okay, and it will act as a yardstick for the performance measurement. Okay, now comparing the actual performance with the yardstick, you can see yardstick, you want to achieve it. Okay, so the final budget which you have prepared now is a yardstick, and whenever there is any actual performance, you will compare it with the yardstick, and in case if there is any favorable variances, then the manager will get the bonus. Okay, and incentive. Okay, it is mentioned here. The higher management believe that this performance control and incentive scheme is very helpful to measure the performance and fixing the responsibility for the responsibility centers. So the higher management, the top level management believes that this is a very good budgeting system. He believes, yes, it is a very good budgeting system. This will help to control this will help to, this will help to increase the profitability of the organization, and obviously the people, those who are actually working, will get reward, okay, incentive, and what bonus and incentive they will get it, okay. So the higher management believe that this performance control, the system and incentive scheme is very helpful, okay. And this, by using this, they have fixed the responsibility through responsibility center, and they have given you the budget, okay, the budgeted revenue, the budgeted variable cost, the budgeted fixed cost. They have given you all these things, and they have given you the actual revenue, the actual variable cost, and actual fixed cost. They have given you all these things, okay. So we have this information. You can see here we have a participative kind of budget. This of functional level, they prepare this budget, then they take the approval of the top level management, and this top level management believe it is a good system, because in case if there is favorable variance, this manager will get incentive and bonus, and it will fix the responsibility of the people, those who are actually working here. So this is the information we have here, okay. These are the information which we have here. Now let us read further. Okay. So we have other information. Surprisingly, above given current year actual result were not up to the mark. Now they are saying this actual information is not up to the mark. There is some problem. Actual results were clearly showing adverse variance performance in comparison to budget. You can see here, they want to achieve profit of 23,200. See, there is 30 more. Okay? So this is the profit they want to achieve, and actually the organization is achieving losses. There is loss. So it is mentioned here. Surprisingly, above current year actual result were not up to the mark. This is not up to the mark. Okay, actual result were clearly showing adverse performance in comparison with budgeted figures. Okay, so actual result is showing adverse performance. Now the manager of this company were upset. Okay, because they did not receive the bonus. Obviously, if there is loss, you can see the revenue is decreasing here, okay. So if the revenue is decreasing and there is loss, obviously the manager will not get bonus or incentive, okay. So now the manager is saying what? Tour manager is saying what? We lost 2 month revenue. The tour manager is saying we have lost 2 month revenue, and fuel price are almost double. So he's saying revenue, we don't receive revenue for 2 months, and the fuel price is increasing, and it is almost double. Okay, we did our best, but these circumstances were beyond our control, and we should not penalize to all. So at all. This tour manager is saying that we did our best to have a good performance, okay. So that is why we should not penalize by not giving the bonus or incentive to the other respective manager, okay. And in support, he has given these 3 reasons. She has given these 3 reasons, okay. Rain is common in northern region, okay. Rain is very common in Meghalaya, okay. But past years set record in number. In July, expected average rain was this, but actual rain was this. In August, expected rain was this, but actual rain was this. Heavy rain in these 2 months disrupted the normal life, and that is why the sale during that 2 month was 0. Okay? They lost the revenue during these 2 months. Okay? July and August, they lost the revenue because of the rain, which interrupted the normal life of the people. So they didn't receive the revenue during these months. Okay? Then the fuel price have risen almost continuously, and he's saying that the price of the fuel is rising continuously. Okay, since last year due to surge global crude prices. So due to surge global crude prices, the price of the oil is continuously increasing. And the third point, this organization now having operational expenses of this amount. They additionally incur the operational excess of this amount. Okay, in order to remove the milky appearance and give a stainless, nice new look affected by heavy rain. So due to effect of heavy rain, the look of the bus has some disrupted. So in order to improve that, they have incurred this cost. Okay, now she claimed that revised budget with consideration of the above factor would give different result and lead to different conclusion. Analysis require analyze the tour manager view. So he's saying that consider these point and then revise the budget and then analyze the situation, then do the performance measurement. Okay, so this is my my discussion, but I want all of you to read this question again. Okay, because I want all of you to understand this question, then I will give you a solution. Okay, so I'm giving you again 5 minutes to read the question again, and this time I want messages from you that yes ma'am, we have done the reading. Okay, read this question again. And if you have done the reading, please quickly message me, ma'am, we have done the reading and you understood this question. Quickly tell me that you understood this question so that we can discuss the solution. I hope the question is clear to all of you. Quickly tell me if you have done the reading so that we can discuss. Quickly tell me if you have done the reading. See, this question is very good. Okay, a very good question. quickly tell me if you have done the reading of this question so that we can discuss it. I'm waiting you, all of you. I'm waiting from all of you to write me so that we can discuss the solution. Shall we discuss the solution? Quickly tell me. See, you have to analyze the situation and you have to prepare a budget again, considering the 2 months in which the revenue is not there. Okay, you can see here it is given in the question that for 2 months the revenue is not there. Okay, so considering that, you have to prepare a budget. Okay, so considering that, you have to prepare a budget. Okay, so I will prepare here in order to analyze the situation. I will prepare one budget comparing the budget and actual result, and another budget I will prepare in order to consider the situation of 2 months in which the revenue is not there. Okay, so in order to analyze the entire question, the solution, I'm doing the solution. I hope it is clearly visible to all of you. Okay, ji, I hope it is clearly visible to all of you. Now here I'm preparing the budget and actual result we have achieved. Okay, here we are preparing the budget and actual result which we have achieved. Okay. Okay, ji. Now budget and actual. ठीक है जी, so सबसे पहले first of all we will consider revenue. ठीक है, what was the budgeted revenue? The budgeted revenue was this. ठीक है, this was the budgeted revenue. This is the budgeted revenue we have. Then let us see what is the actual revenue. We have this actual revenue 93500. This is the actual revenue. This is the actual revenue we have. Okay. After then, let us consider the variable costs which we have. Less variable cost. And out of the variable cost, we have direct material cost, direct labor cost, and variable overheads. So we have direct material cost, direct labor cost, and variable overhead. We have all these three variable cost. Now let us see the budget of these variable cost. Direct material cost, direct labor cost, and variable overheads. Okay, let us take them. Okay, this is direct material. This is direct labor. This is variable overhead. Okay, so we have these costs. Okay, direct material, direct labor, and variable overhead cost. Now let us see the actual direct material, actual labor, actual variable overheads. Okay, so actual is 19,600. I'm taking this information so that it will help us to do the analysis. This will help us to do the analysis. Okay, so this is direct material, direct labor. Actual direct labor is 37,700. Variable overhead, actual variable overhead 6,200. Now let us consider the fixed cost. Fixed cost we have. The fixed cost is related to operating overheads and marketing and administration. Operating overhead and marketing and administration. What is the budget? 18,100. And this is okay. And here we have this value 20150 and 10100. Profit. Budgeted profit is 23,200 and the actual profit is not a profit. We have a loss of this. And it is, the value is in, we have to multiply 30. We have to add 30 more. So these are the values which we have. Okay. Now let us first do the analysis of the situation which we have presently. In this case, you can see here the revenue is there and the revenue is decreasing by 18%. You can see the revenue is increasing by 18%, the difference divided by 113,800. So you can see here the revenue is decreasing by 18%. Also, direct material to the sale, direct material to the sale. Okay, direct material to the sale. I want to write the information somewhere. Direct material to the sale is what? Budgeted. For budgeted, this is 12%. And for actual, this is 21%. I want all of you to calculate the value. If you will divide this with this, you will get 12%. And if you will divide this with this, you will get 21%. So you can see here that you are using more material. The cost of material is more. And what is the material here? Fuel. And it is also given in the question that the fuel cost is increasing. The fuel cost is increasing internationally. So you can see here, with respect to sale, the cost, the material cost, the fuel cost is increasing from 12% to 21%, and this is due to the fuel cost. This is due to the fuel cost you have. This is due to the fuel cost. This is due to the fuel cost. Okay. Nothing is mentioned related to labor or variable overheads. Okay, but it is mentioned here in the question that you are incurring 22 lakh operating expenses. So let us see here. You had previously you had 181. This is the operating overhead here, fixed operating overhead. Now you are incurring additional 22. So this should be your actual operating overhead. But you can see here that there is a difference of 150. In order to get the value of 20150, can you tell me the value which we will get here after adding it? So you can see here the difference is what? 150. So it means that in case if you will increase this operating expenditure by 22 lakh, you're increasing the operating fixed expenditure to 22 lakh. This will help you to save this. You are saving here 1,50,000. This will help you to save 1,50,000. Hai na? You can see here the sale is decreasing by 18%. The cost of material with respect to sale is previously budgeted was 12%. The actual is 21%. You can see here that in case if you will incur 22 lakh additional operating expenditure, fixed expenditure, you will be able to manage to reduce 1,50,000 here at this point. So these are all my analysis related to the information I have in the question. Okay, I hope the point up to this place is clear to all of you. The point here is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. So now let us see what is given here. Analysis. It appears that the company has badly hit by the weather, heavy rain due in 2 months, July and August. Okay. Revenue is fall by 18%. You can see here we have found the value 18%. The revenue has decreased by 18% because for 2 months there were no rain. Okay. Direct material cost, that is fuel cost. It is mentioned in the question that the fuel cost is rising internationally. So you can see the budgeted fuel cost was 12%, but the actual fuel cost you're incurring is 21%. You know, so the actual fuel cost you're incurring here is 21%. Okay. And they're saying that variable overhead are almost same. So the variable overhead are almost same. The variable overhead are almost same. Then what else? However, interestingly, you are saving 1,50,000 operating overhead. How? This is what I have already told you. Previously, your overhead was this. You are incurring additional 22 lakh added, but the value should be 20300. But the actual value is this. It means you are saving here 1,50,000. So I hope you understand. You are saving here. After incurring 22 lakh expenditure, you are saving 1,50,000 value. Okay. So you are saving here 1,50,000 value. There is reduction in marketing and administration cost. You can see there is reduction in marketing and administration cost also. Okay. So these are the information we have. These are the analysis. Salary is rose to 40% from 36% as budgeted. So you can see here the salary is also increasing. Okay. Salary is also increasing. Okay. So you can see all these things. These are all our analysis. Okay. So this is all our analysis here. So they are saying that award of bonus in case of loss is not justified and managers should be held accountable for their operation. Losses is not justified. Bonus in case of losses is not justified. So if there is loss, there is no condition will arise to give bonus to the manager. But the calculation should be correct now. The calculation should be correct. See, we have loss at this place. So obviously, if there is loss, there is no condition will arise to give the bonus or incentive. Okay. If you have any doubt, you want to ask me anything, you can ask me. Up to this place, I hope everything is clear. It's all clear. Okay. Very nice. So the concept is clear. The way you are writing me, it shows me that the concept is clear. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, now let us see. For the purpose of finding the bonus to the manager, the profit at this place should be correct. But actually, the actual calculation they have done is actually not correct. So we need to do the calculation at this place again. We need to do the calculation at this place again, where actual profitability. Actually, the actual profitability is not correct. This actual profitability is not correct. So we need to do this actual profitability calculation. Let us do that actual profitability calculation. ठीक है, revise budgeted income. I'm preparing revise. Considering the 2 months in which there is no sale, I'm revising the budget. So revised budgeted statement, income statement. ठीक है जी. Revise budgeted income statement. So first of all, let us find the revenue. Can you calculate the revenue for the 2 month? See the budgeted revenue 1138,100. This is the revenue for 12 months. So what should be the revenue for 10 months? This way you can calculate the revenue for 10 month. है ना जी? This way you can calculate the revenue for the 10 month, which will be 94833. This should be the revenue. है ना? For don't consider the revenue of 2 months, which actually you have not considered in this budget. For 2 months, there is no sale, no revenue. For those 2 months should be considered. So since you have budgeted for 12 months, consider the budget for 10 months, because for 2 months you are not working, your organization is not working. ठीक है, less variable cost. Now let us consider the direct material first. The direct material cost. Let us consider the direct material cost. ठीक है, let us find the direct material cost. ठीक है. Now you can see, I want to find this material is with respect to revenue. It is given in the question, material is with respect to revenue. So in case for this actual 93500, for this, if you are consuming 19600, this much material, so how much material you will consume for this revenue? है ना? So this calculation will be like this. ठीक है जी. So write it here. You will calculate this way. You will calculate the direct material this way. ठीक है, this way you will calculate the direct material and the value will be 19879. ठीक है जी. Now let us see the direct labor. ठीक है. So direct labor is what? 40500 for 113,800. So what will be the direct labor for 19433? For this, the direct labor will be 33750. ठीक है. Now let us consider the fixed variable overhead. $7,700 divided by 1,138. This value you will get here 6417. This is the variable overhead. Okay, now let us consider the fixed cost. What is the fixed cost we have? Operating overhead. So how can we calculate? See, actually the budgeted operating overhead should be this. Previously you had this and you are incurring additional 22 lakh. So actual operating, so budgeted operating overhead should be 20300. This. Okay. And marketing and administration, since with fixed costs remain fixed, but it is specially mentioned in the question that you are incurring additional 22 lakh, so that is why we have added the 22 lakh. Otherwise fixed cost is fixed. So market and administration overhead is what? 10,700. So this is all we have here. So you can see here, in this case, we are incurring profit, not loss. If we consider the revised budget, there is profitability 3787. So accordingly, we should consider the revised budget. है ना? Accordingly, we should consider the revised budget, and then accordingly, we should give the incentive and bonus to the manager. So it means that the loss which you have here is not correct, on the basis of which you are not giving the bonus or the incentive to the manager is not good. This is not correct. Okay, you are showing here the budget you have prepared here is not correct, and on the basis of which you are not giving the bonus or incentive is not good. Okay, you should compare this with what this revised budget, not to this budget. You should not compare this information with this information. Why? Because you have prepared the budget for 12 months and you are incurring the actual expenditure for 10 months. So it is not good to compare 12 months with 10 months. 10 months with 12 months. This is not good to do the comparison. If you want to do the comparison, compare this 10 months with 10. So first you should prepare a budget for 10 months. Then accordingly you should do the comparison. Okay. I hope it is all clear to all of you. Okay. In case if you have any doubt, you can ask me. I hope everything is clear up to this place. Okay. Now let us see what they have written us. Okay. Let us see their analysis. So you can see it is clearly given here. Now if you compare, then comparatively there is less loss. Okay. Comparatively the position is good. Okay. Instead of comparing the 10 month with 12 month. Okay, which is all mentioned. If original budget figure is used to measure the performance, it will punish the employee for the reason which are beyond their control. See, the rain is beyond their control, and for punishing the employee for something which is beyond their control is not good. Okay, and which will reduce the loyalty of the employee. Okay, and if you want to create the employee's loyalty, if you want to improve the employee's loyalty, you should focus on creating, you should not focus the employee on something for which it is not in their control. Don't punish your employee for all those things. Okay. So there is continuous monitoring of the budget performance is essential to overcome the situation. We should continuously monitor this budget in order to overcome the situation. I hope the question is clear to all of you. I hope the concept of both traditional budgeting and beyond budgeting is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Is it all clear? Is it all clear? Is this question is clear to all of you? Is this question is clear? If you have any doubt, anything which you want to ask me, you can ask me. Do you want to ask me anything, any query, any question? It's all clear? Is it all clear? Shall we end the session? Quickly tell me. It's all clear? Is it all clear? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. I'm there to solve the queries. No doubt? Okay. I think there is no doubt. Tell me it's all clear. Okay, goodbye. Take care.